getting something else now. Or maybe they are doing it to you that because I don't know, maybe they want something from you, these guys. You have to say so, my guys, so that we eat money. Yeah.
I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need.
Spotify is killing dreams. I am Noel, by the way. So I'm here to talk about Spotify killing dreams. And the reason why I make this video is because I'm a musician. So I'd advise other musicians, mainly independent upcoming artists, because this is something I'm going through. This is something you are going to go through or you are already going through. So I just had to make this video and voice out the unfairness of this situation. This is not only by Spotify, it's being done by the whole music industry as a whole. So I just felt like I had to talk about it because, imagine you are an independent upcoming artist like me, and then you get to upload music on Spotify and all these streaming platforms, hoping that you at least, get to like 50,000 streams. And then you get there and you're like, wow, I didn't think I would get here, man. What's next, man? You get to 100, get to 500,000, you get to 1,000,000, you get to 2,000,000, and now you're just like, yeah, man, I've made it. But when you look at the outcome, the outcome of what you put out, you realize that you are actually not getting paid.
Wah, wah, wah. Well, I need a dollar because streaming ain't working for me. Well, I need a dollar, Mr. Spotify, tell me please. Ain't nobody bought my CD since before 2003. Let me tell you a story, it's gonna sound a little bit dumb. 1 million streams will buy you a brand new pack of gum. Wah, wah, wah.
Like you are busy working in and out, but you are not getting paid. So I had to cover this today, because we have to talk about it. We have to come up with a solution for it. And so the way this video is gonna go is like I have a few subtopics that I'm gonna be covering. And then the first one's gonna be the brief history of Spotify. The second one, the promise of Spotify. The third one, the reality of musicians. And then the fourth one being the last one, the impact on dream pursuit, because I named this video Spotify is killing dreams for a reason. And so we're gonna be talking about that today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. More especially, I want people to comment because we gotta find a solution to what I'm about to talk about right now. And okay, so let's get it. Let's go. Spotify, founded in 2006 by Daniel Ek. Is it Ek? It's EK. I don't know. And Martin Laurentizen. Laurentizen? I don't know. Emerged as a pioneering force in the music streaming industry. It launched its platform to be public in 2008, offering users legal access to a vast library of musicians through a freemium model. Spotify's rise to prominence can be attributed to several key factors, which are convenience and accessibility, personalization, partnership and integration, artist-friendly features, global expansion. Okay, so I'm gonna break that down to you. Under convenience and accessibility, Spotify provided users with a convenient way to access a vast library of music from virtually any device with an internet connection. This accessibility appealed to consumers who were seeking a legal alternative to piracy. Those people who ban CDs, right? And those sites where you can download music, and people still download music using illegal sites, which is not friendly because, you are not supporting your favorite artist or band because you are stealing money from the pockets. Like you are supporting piracy, you're just feeding another man's pocket, which is bad considering the fact that Even if you are still streaming their music on Spotify, they still get paid, they get paid way less, way less than they should be getting paid.
Spotify and other streaming services have made listening to music as easy as shoplifting from a Walgreens. Yeah, you walk out with the thing, all that happens is a beeping sound. And that's why we love streaming, right? I love it, and you probably love streaming too. But you know who doesn't love it as much? A lot of the musicians you're actually listening to. Yeah. The question is, why?
Online streaming music became an $11 billion industry, making up 56% of global music industry revenues in 2019. Spotify has dominated the streaming music industry with about 130 million premium subscribers worldwide.
In 2017 alone, Spotify users streamed over 40 billion hours of content.
Damn.
And we still don't get paid.
Okay, so moving on, personalization. The platform's recommendation algorithms and personalized playlists such as Discovery Weekly and Release Radar helped users cover new music tailored to their tastes. This personalized experience kept users engaged and coming back for more. Oh man, those were the good old days. Feel me? Those were the good old days. The current year is 2024, and by the end of 2023, Spotify created this new rule that just defeats the purpose of personalization right now. It's like we were promised one thing, we had a run with it, and then it was taken away from us. Not so cool, Spotify. But yeah, we're gonna get to that in a moment, Let me just do the briefly. Partnerships and integration. Spotify forged strategic partnerships with various hardware manufacturers, telecommunication companies, and social media platforms to expand its reach and integrate its services seamlessly into users' digital lifestyles. And then artist-friendly features. While initially criticized for its low payouts for artists, Spotify introduced features like Spotify for Artists, which empowered musicians with insights into their audience, demographics, and engagement metrics. Additionally, Spotify's playlist page 2 allowed artists to submit their music directly to Spotify's editorial team for consideration in curated playlists. Man, this whole playlist stuff, bro, it still breaks my heart. Because the changes that they made last year are affecting me down bad. And yeah, we're going to get into that. Okay, global expansion. Spotify aggressively expanded its presence internationally, launched in multiple countries across Europe, the Americas, Asia, and Oceania. This global approach helps Spotify reach a diverse audience and solidify its position as a leader in the music streaming market. Okay. Overall, Spotify's innovative approach to music streaming, coupled with its user-friendly interface, personalized recommendations, and strategic partnerships, propelled it to become one of the most influential platforms in the music industry, fundamentally changing the way people consume and discover music.
Gang leaders, mess speaker, we the big steppers.
In the early years, Spotify indeed appeared as a game changer for independent artists, offering them a platform to reach a wider audience and potentially level the playing field against major label artists. And here's how. Accessibility. Spotify provided independent artists with a global distribution platform, allowing them to share their music with listeners around the world without the need for a record deal or extensive marketing budget. This accessibility meant that talented artists could be discovered and appreciated based on the quality of their music rather than their industry connections. Discoverability. Through Spotify's recommendation algorithms and playlist features, independent artists had the opportunity to be discovered by users who may not have otherwise come across their music. Placement on popular playlists or inclusive in algorithmically generated playlists like Discover Weekly exposed independent artists to a broader audience and increased their chances of gaining traction. Analytics and insights. Spotify's tool for artists, such as Spotify for Artists, provided independent musicians with valuable insights into their audience, demographics, listening behaviors, and geographic geographical reach. This data empowered artists to understand their fan base better and tailor their promotional efforts accordingly, leading to more targeted marketing campaigns and fan engagement strategies. Direct engagements. Spotify enabled direct engagement between artists and their listeners through features like artist profiles, where musicians could share biographies, tour dates, and exclusive content. This direct connection fostered a sense of community between artists and fans, allowing independent musicians to cultivate a dedicated fan base and grow their following organically. Overall, Spotify initially seemed like a game changer for independent artists by democratizing access to the music industry, offering them a level playing field to showcase their talent, connect with fans, and pursue their passion on their own terms. Without the record deal. The reality of musicians, as we have it. Spotify's payment model has been subjected of criticism from many artists and industry observers, as it often leaves artists earning very little per stream, making it challenging to sustain a career solely through streaming revenue. Here are some statistics and anecdotes that highlight this issue. Okay. Low per stream payouts. According to various reports, Spotify's average payouts to right holder, which includes artists, labels, publishers, etc., ranges from $0.003 to $0.005 per stream. This means that artists typically earn fractions of a cent for each play of their songs on the platform, making it difficult to generate significant income, especially for independent artists without the backing of major record labels. Comparison to other revenue streams. When compared to other revenue streams like physical album sales, digital downloads, or even live performances, streaming revenue often pales in comparison. For example, while an artist might earn a few cents from a Spotify stream, they could potentially earn several dollars from the sale of a single album or merchandise item. Impact on independent artists. Independent artists who may not have the negotiation power or leverage of major label artists often bear the brunt of Spotify's payment model. Without the support of a record deal or a record label to subsidize their income or provide advances, independent musicians rely heavily on streaming revenue to sustain their careers, making it challenging to make ends meet solemnly through streaming income. Complexity of royal distributions. The distribution of streaming revenue among rights holders adds another layer of complexity to this issue. Artists signed to record labels typically receive only a fraction of the revenue generated by their streams, as labels take a significant portion for distribution and recoupment of expenses. Overall, while streaming has become a dominant force in the music industry, Spotify's payment method has sparked ongoing debate and concerns about its impact on artists' livelihoods, particularly independent musicians who rely heavily on streaming revenue to sustain their careers, potentially crushing their dreams. Okay, now that we are done reading this, let's get to it. So I've been watching this other interview with Russ where he was talking about mainstream artists faking streams, and it makes sense because, you know, the way he says it is that they don't just fake streams on a unpopular song or unpopular artist. You know, the artist can be popular, but the song has to already be like making waves, you know, heavy waves, that people won't question how that song got like as many streams, let's say twice as many streams as it has. And also the reason why Spotify decided that for the new rule that they made, they said they're gonna penalize you if you have 90%, over 90% of fake streams, which means that they do allow fake streaming, just not above 90%. And the reason why it's not above, it's not like 100%, fully 100%, is because this is something that benefits them. It benefits them with the labels because they get to fake the streams for mainstream artists. You know, say a song already had like 500 million streams. Organically, they're gonna push it up to like 900 million streams. The additional 400 million streams are just gonna be fake streams. And then, you know, we're gonna see the song, oh, it's like nearly 1 billion stream, and since it's a popular song, everybody loves it, we might try to push it up so it gets to 1 billion streams, and then everybody is happy. But nobody is aware that the industry knows, the labels know, Spotify knows that almost half of those streams are fake. They're not gonna get penalized because they know how to work this thing out. They're not gonna abuse the thing over the 90% that they gave us. And the 90% is sneaky, because why not 100%? That means that they're promoting this use of fake streams. And the way this backslides on the independent artist is because independent artists buys streams for the same reason kind of why mainstream artists buy streams. It's for independent artists, when they buy streams, is to make sure that they manipulate the algorithm. They get to reach a wider audience. People discover their music through that. If you are an independent artist and nobody knows you and you upload your music on the internet, you are less likely to get even 1,000 streams. So those people buys those streams just so they get favor from Spotify's algorithm, because they told us about the playlist pitching stuff. But when you pitch up your song in the playlist, in Spotify's playlist, I think they put it in the radio or whatever, it doesn't get streams from anywhere. It doesn't even get streams, like, trust me, I know. And so before this new rule, I looked at my statistics from Spotify and I could see that I was reaching different countries, streaming my music on a daily, and people were just landing on my music out of the blue. But now that they have this new rule, things are way slower than they were. I released the song for a whole month. It didn't even get like as many exposure as they used to. It didn't get playlisted. And that's another thing about playlisting, because you just can't get anybody to playlist your songs now, because they're gonna strike you out and be like, because they disapprove of playlisting. I remember Russ on Twitter, or X as they now call it, mentioned that there was a top 100 Spotify chart whereby Losing Control, his song, was not part of the listing. And so there was a comment below there which a commenter asked if there was any independent artist in that Spotify listing. This goes to show that Spotify is no longer in favor of independent musicians. It's promoting record label people, artists, because record labels have stakeholders in Spotify, and the big three own record labels. Most of the record labels, even if they're not the big three, they're under the big three, which means they get the privilege of the big three, because the big three is playing roles in Spotify. That is why independent artists are no longer being favored. The money is being pushed away to the signed artist under the label, which is very, very much sad, because now if you are not getting paid from your music, told yourself that you're gonna do this music thing, it's something you're passionate about. If you are not getting paid, and time is like they say, time is money, and you're not making any, you will be obligated to go find a job or do something else just so you can pay the bill. Because even if you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this music thing, I don't mind if I'm not getting paid. But equipment run on electricity. You gotta pay the electricity bills. You gotta eat, and a few of those equipments need maintenance. So you gotta make sure that you have money for whenever you need to upgrade or you need to repair. And that's not happening if you just taking money out of your pocket and investing it on the music thing, and the music thing is not paying you. Because Spotify, being as major as it is, if Spotify is declaring, actually it is declaring, not if, when Spotify is declaring that your song is worth 0.00 per stream, it being the major platform it is, how do you think that's gonna affect the other platforms that follow it, that are below it? That means that they're not gonna find any value in your songs. But big shout out to Tidal. Tidal is actually paying, and I feel like that's the reason why Prince felt it was right to actually leave his music on Tidal, because he wasn't distributing his music to Apple, Spotify, all this YouTube. He was not playing that because he knew the value of his music. And this is something that I'm gonna encourage us artists to do. We gotta know the value of our work. We can't be swinged around with this industry, because on this video, Russ explains that they don't disclose the information as to how they fake the streams. But like, since I've witnessed my streams not one time but every single time, my streams idle. They go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. It only makes sense that my streams are being half. They take my a portion of my streams and then they give it to a major artist, just like that. And this thing is definitely killing us. I mean, even DistroKid is not paying us. The distributors are not paying us. And they know that we are independent. We are not under a label, so it is less likely that we have lawyers, so we can't sue them. Even if we try to sue them, they're just gonna use the royalties, our royalties that they backed up, to fight us against the case and still want more from us, because these people want more than we can provide. They want way more from ourselves. Like, they're turning us into slaves, because when I had to dispatch from DistroKid, I actually felt like I was signed under a label due to how my royalties were withdrawn, and how when I had to leave, I had to pay in order for my music to stay in the platforms. And when I thought about it, like, even if I had to pay that massive amount that I actually never made back, I never made the amount of money that I was paying this distributor to distribute my music, and yet they still wanted me to pay a fee so that my music is kept on the streaming platforms. And when I thought about it, like, DistroKid is not even paying me my full royalties, not even quarter my royalties. Half would be, out of this world. So I thought about it and was like, if I still kept the music, I mean, the catalog was fire, and I know people would love it, to actually venture into some old stuff, the evolution of Smelly Wind. But when I looked into it, I was like, I mean, I can pay them and they still be chowing my royalties, and my songs will still be getting streams and streams. And as I grow bigger, they'll grow bigger too, a whole discography. So I was like, you know what, let them have it. They can keep my royalties. They can delete the songs as long as I'm not part of it. So I went to this new distributor, 1RPM, and then there, I post my first song. It reaches 30k streams. It then proceeds to reach 36k streams. And when it's on 36k streams, the label sends me a ticket, and they tell me that my song is been flagged for a reason, that there's artificial streamings that were detected in it. And so I was confused, and then I thought maybe this is Spotify flagging me. So I went to Spotify for artists support, and then I talked to them, and then they told me that everything about my song was fine, which was a surprise to me, because my song was being taken down from all the music platforms. They advised me to talk to my distributor. I went there, replied to a ticket. I told them, I know nothing about this. I didn't pay anything. My song is not playlisted. How can this be fake streams? And so the distributor replies. It tells me that, we have a certain, what do they call the thing? A working service which measures your skips and ensuring what was his threshold and all that stuff. So that detected that my songs were my streams were being fake. And so since those streams that they were talking about are from Spotify, I told them, well, I just spoke to Spotify, and they told me that everything about my streams is fine, and they told me that I should talk to you so that you bring my music back on streaming platforms. When I sent that ticket, it was a new ticket that I created. They deleted my tickets. I got a message saying that my tickets were being removed or something, which didn't make sense to me. Like, we're trying to resolve something, and you just deleting my tickets just like that, which led me to believe that they didn't want to put my music back, because nothing about my music was wrong. And so, the truth of the matter is, I made those streams. I was supposed to get paid, but my bank balance from my distributor is still on 0. And since they flagged everything, and we tried to address it, but they didn't actually take a stand on it, it means that I'm becoming less and less favorable on Spotify, which means that when I go to release, I'm just gonna get blackballed. I'm gonna be on the red notice. I'm gonna be less in the algorithm. I'm just gonna be buried, basically. I'll be buried because I've become an enemy of the streaming services. So, I need us to connect and try to figure out something, because think about this. If these major artists went out of a label, let's think The Weeknd, Taylor Swift, Doja Cat. If these artists were out of the label and did it the Prince way, and let's say had their own websites where you can go stream or download or buy their music from, these people would be making a lot of money. And this would show that record labels are old news. They don't matter anymore. Like, a person can create a song on a cracked door, upload it on TikTok, and the person blows up without no record label, without no PR stunts, just straight up blow up, and they start having a huge career. You know, this is the internet time. We are being scammed by this major, the record labels are still trying to play a huge role in this. They're still gatekeeping. That's why they are investing in all these internet things that are supposed to help us, and they're turning them against us. Because let's be honest, man, if The Weeknd just went out of the label and started doing his own thing, and I don't know if The Weeknd owned his masters, but it's the same thing that Prince was fighting for. You know, just look at it, man. Just look at it. If he owns his masters and decides, I'm getting off a label, I'm going to do my own thing, he's set for life. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I feel like I'm being blackballed a lot, and I'm still an independent artist, which is discouraging. And if somebody's not as strong mentally, they break down, they start losing themselves, they start losing their artistry, they turn into drugs or whatever, they just feel disappointed and feel like the world is against them and all that stuff. So instead of crying about it, the reason why I opened this YouTube channel, I want us to connect and figure out a way at which we can actually push our own independent music or artistry to a level that it is worth the work that we put in. It's not worth 0.000000000 to infinity 3 that you are not even gonna get paid. You're still gonna get robbed. And so that's all I got for this series today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Catch you on the next one.
Me pointing the finger and calling shit out, all that's gonna happen is people are like, no, you're faking your stream. You know what I'm saying?
You know so much.
Right, like, how do you know? And you were on the phone, and you know what? Who even listens to Russ? You're faking your stream. But
you got people coming out to shows. I think that's the difference maker right there.
Real bodies. But I will say this for full transparency. This is the truth. 315 is a song I have that I put out, 3 years ago. And right now it's doing, 500,000 streams a day on Spotify. There was a time where it was doing 800 and 900,000, right? And the threshold to go into today's top hits is like they want to see you getting like 1.1, right? And that's like, once you're in today's top hits, over with, right? So we got on the phone because I was like, Milan, I hit my manager, I was like, Milan, see what this guy, because I've low-key, I'm planning a fucking Vice documentary. I'm exposing all shit. I'm like, Milan, hit this guy, what is the process of this shit? But it's so he talks to him and he's like, look, you got to fake his voice. This is the perfect song to do it because it's crushing organically.
Nobody's going to know the difference between 200,000 streams.
315 organically was before TikTok and Billboard did the thing where there was a Billboard chart for TikTok songs, 315 was the #1 song on TikTok in the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Organically. So once again, if I was to boost that, what is anyone going to say? No, I hear it everywhere on TikTok, so it kind of checks out. Makes sense. And we talked to the dude, or Milan talked to him, and told us, it's like an 8 to 12 week campaign. You spend 35, 40 grand and that's it. And then it's out of here. Wow. And now guess what? Now it goes from, once again, it goes from 800,000 organic streams a day to now maybe it is doing that 1.2 million threshold. And now Spotify puts it in today's top hits.
And now it's at 2 million.
Boom, boom, boom. You see what I'm saying? And now radio's like, wait, this is a smash.
It's a multiplier.
And so all of a sudden, that extra 400,000 streams that are fake get a whole bunch of real ears but I just could not live with myself if I did it because the reason why, and I'm gonna be honest, it's so tempting.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I've even tweeted about it before where it's like, wait a second. If everyone's on steroids, am I an idiot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the baseball shit.
Am I an idiot?
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I being naive and almost childish where it's like, I'm sitting here still trying to like play the game the right way and everyone else is like, dog, what are you doing? Like, you know we're all doing this, right? Yeah. And so I start, I oscillate with like yes and no every day, but I just have faith and I know that house is gonna come crumbling down and I don't wanna be in it when it does. Because guess what it'll do? It won't just be, oh, Russ, you faked the streams on 315. It'll send the whole catalog into question.
Yep.
Right.
Especially because
that would fucking ruin me.
And especially because you're independent.
Right.
If you're not independent, if you're already part of the label system,
right.
Even if you put it all into question, they wouldn't be incentivized to tear them down. But to you, there are people I'm sure that are part of the industry that have heard all the shit that you said and then seen your success without them, and they're like,
they're waiting for me to fake the second 100%. If I did it, it would be Russ is faking his streams.
And let this be a lesson to all other independent artists.
Right, because guess what that narrative is? Now the narrative would be, see, you can't get real success
without
independent unless you fake your stream. You got to be with a major. So like, I just feel I owe it not just to myself, but to the whole like independent community to do it the real way. And look, if that means that I have a ceiling here, then so be it. But at least this is real.